coming to you, Dr. Aramya. Uh, so if a condition is like in the apartment which I stay, I have a positive case reported, and I come to that person accidentally. So what will be the immediate preventive measures that I have to take? And also, if what will be the, if I've self quarantined myself, definitely I don't think I'll be getting some medications for that. So in that period as well, what do you think would be the ideal kind of medication or preventive measures that I have to take when I'm in self quarantine, and that immediate preventive measures which will help stopping the infections to be come to a bad condition? So coming to you, Dr. Adam, what do you think?
Thank you, Chaitanya. So when you are talking about a quarantine period, so when it comes to quarantine, the first thing that is to be taken care is isolation. So isolate yourself. So since you're the patient, you have to isolate yourself, be in a separate room and make yourself comfortable with what are the amenities available. And you should make sure that no one else uses it. So be it the dresses, the laundry should be done separately, and the washing of the vessels that you use, that should be done separately, and all that kept apart. And personal hygiene is a must, as Dr. Arun and Dr. Prem Shankar had specified. Making sure that you wash the hands frequently or using sanitizer, social distancing, and also avoiding frequent touching of the nose, mouth, that is, or the face, coming in contact with however the viruses can spread. So avoiding all such things will help in, to a certain limit, it will help in avoiding the infection to happen. And then comes, when it comes to Ayurveda, we have a concept of the Agni. As Dr. Prem Shankar was telling, no? The digestive fire is one of the main concerns. And so making sure that you have a healthy diet regimen in which you include food which is actually light in digestion, which is actually cooked, preferably not taken raw, and which is also easy to digest. That means you have to take fresh food which is easy to digest, and you have to make sure that you are feeling hungry. When you're at home, people generally, when they are in the lockdown period itself, we see that many people are like frequent consumption is also there. So that is to be avoided, and take food taken as per the hunger. That would be an apt word. And then eating food appropriate to the condition or the climate condition where you stay. That is also very important. Like if we eat in when you're in Tamil Nadu, and if you take pizza or burger when you're in your quarantine period, I think it is going to create a problem to you. Okay, so take food which is actually staple to the region, that would be better. And try avoiding any kind of heavy food, oily food, deep fried food, fermented beverages, cold beverages especially, and then refrigerated food. All these to be avoided, because that all has a tendency to create an abnormalcy in this Agni and create a sense of it is actually creating a situation wherein you can get yourself attacked easily by the virus. Making yourself immune is very important. And then try drinking water which is always boiled, and boiled preferably with possibly dry ginger or ginger, which is generally available at home. And next importance goes for the sleep. As Dr. Prem Shankar was telling, Nidra is a very important part of our Trayopastambha. It is actually considered as Trayopastambha. It is one of the pillars that actually holds up our immunity, our strength, our happiness, everything. So that has to be made into a routine, because now when you are, we don't have to work that specific time of ours. People wake up at 11 o'clock and all that. But that actually creates a very bad problem to the circadian rhythm, which has to be followed. So now it is a wake-up call where you have to wake up early and sleep early also. Only when you sleep early, you'll be able to wake up early. Make a schedule of at least 7 to 8 hours, which is as per the recommendations of WHO, and try to stick on to a schedule also where you are going to sleep also and wake up also. So that will actually help you in fitting onto a biological rhythm. Okay. And one thing that is mainly to be considered is avoid day sleep, which always can create a tendency to increase the kapha, which is unwanted, which can also contract infections. So next comes a regular exercise. Exercise means people do a day or two and then shift off to another things. So, but here actually it is at this hour, it is very important that we keep our lungs intact, and there is no other way, no easier way also to make sure that your lungs are fit and fine. It is by exercise, possibly by the usage of pranayama. Pranayama is one way. There are many types of pranayama that can be followed. Those actually keep the lung healthy. And yoga is also a wonderful option wherein you can actually keep the body and the mind in a aligned way. Otherwise, you will think one and body thinks other. Then immunity can also be enhanced by the way of usage of guduchi. Guduchi is actually a plant which is available in some places, or if it is possible. Otherwise, you can take the Indian gooseberry or the amla. That is one thing which is commonly available also at this period of time. That actually help you enhance your immunity. There are other medicines also like licorice, like ashwagandha. These are all actually being studied also for its immunomodulatory properties. And as per the Ayush ministry, there has been two methods of trying to get away from the infections, like the usage of oil pulling and nasya. Oil pulling, as per Ayurveda, we consider it as a treatment itself by the usage of Arimeda, Taila, etc. Oils as per the condition patient. But at home, you can do it with the usage of sesame oil or coconut oil, which is available at home. And it is done immediately after brushing, gargle, and then spit it out. And then post doing this, you have to actually do gargling with warm water also. Nasya is actually instilling of 2 drops of oil in both the nostrils. It is done immediately after brushing your teeth. And that is also done with the use of Anutailam. That is actually one of the oils that we use as per medication. For daily regime, it has been mentioned. But if it is not available, sesame oil can also be used. So this actually has to be done with a head low position. The oil is being instilled, and once it has been instilled, you will have some sputum coming up in your mouth that has to be spit out. And once you do it, you have to gargle with warm water. And this is also these 2 ways actually help you in cleansing all your nose, mouth, throat, all your face, until your cervical region. It will help you clear out. And there are also recommendations for medicines such as Chamanaprasham, Agastya Rasayanam, Indukanta Grida, Haridra Kanta, etc., which can be also taken as a preventive measure. If you can access these, you can call up also some of the doctors and consider asking how it is to be taken. And once you know it, you can regularly use it also.
Thank you, Dr. Aramya. That was great. So everybody who puts the hashtag today's special cooking recipe is going to have a tough time after listening to you, I'm sure. So let me come to Dr. Sobit. Somit sir, Patyam is a very strong point that Ayurveda always holds. So looking from the COVID-19 perspective, the Patya, we don't definitely have it like for the COVID-19, we don't have a Patya, but I'm sure we'll have to take it from so many Adhikaranam and curate the Patya for COVID-19. So the question is this Patyam going to be the same? Is it going to remain the same in all the stages, in the mild, moderate, and the critical stages of COVID-19? Is the Patyam going to be the same, or we have to change it according to the situation and the symptoms? So what is your take on it, Dr. Somit Kumar?
Yeah, so I think coming to the whole discussion, so we have divided the discussion into 2 phases. So the first phase of our discussion was people who are healthy, they have not yet counteracted to COVID and want to prevent. So we have talked in detail about the Dinacharya and Ritucharya. But the issue is we are now going to the next step as to suppose if you have counteracted to COVID, or you are in a mild phase or moderately severe phase, will the strategy change? So as my colleagues have very aptly told, that we have to follow certain precepts of Dinacharya and Ritucharya. Now, why we see this? Because if you look at when this COVID started in India, it was a Vasanta Ritu. When rather it started peaking. And now we are into a Ritu Sandhi between the spring or Vasanta to Grishma. So we need to be very careful that our digestion is becoming moderate to weaker. So as all my panelists have told, that you have to take care of the food and the amount of food which you can digest, as well as the second thing which was very important I wanted to tell you is strength. Physical strength reduces in this season. So what you need to understand is we all, since we are staying indoors, we are doing a lot of exercise, but what has been, text has been told is Ardhashakta Nishevyastu Balibhi Snigdha Bhojibhi. The Vyayama Prakarana has been told that you have to do physical exercise, but half the amount of physical strength which you have done, provided you are taking enough Snigdha Bhojana, which prevents from the aggravation of Vata. So you need to take care. So you have to follow this Ritucharya, especially Vasanta, which is in the north still, and then to the Ritu Sandhi, which is in the south. Now, all of us has talked about calorie restriction. Now, why we should eat less? So this was the Nobel Prize given in 2016, where Japanese scientists got that he has very specifically proved that when you restrict the quantity of food, and if you see the Vasanta Ritu, your Agni is very moderate, and in Grishma Ritu, it will become further Hina. So if you don't eat Laghu, Deepana, Pachana, Aharas, you tend to create a metabolic overload, and that will reduce your immunity. So he had very specifically shown that if you restrict your calories, especially if you have a fasting for around 14 hours, it induces the process of autophagy. Now, why autophagy is very important? Because any bacteria or virus which affects our body has to be mediated by our immune system. And there are a lot of, as we have discussed, a part of our innate immune, there are a lot of cells which eats up these bacteria and virus. And this is in fact potentiated when you eat less. So this is very specifically scientifically established. Then it comes to why we should plan our dinacharya. So if you wake up on time, sleep on time, have 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and eat on time. This is very important. You have to have proper breakfast. At the Kapha Kalam, generally when we do, you have to have moderate breakfast, not aggravating Kapha dosha. Then you need to have relatively bigger lunch, which should be the heaviest meal of your day, and then very light dinner. Now, if you follow this, this in fact improves your immune response. And this is a very important research which got Nobel Prize again in 2017 for circadian rhythm, as we have been discussing. So what we need to understand is, when you are awake, you need to feed your system. When you are sleeping, fast. Why? Because this is the time when, if you look at in the evening, after 10 o'clock is where our immune system arousal happens. And we need enough calories to divert our whole metabolic system to repair our immune system. And this is very important in terms of following our dinacharya when we are, this is the scientific aspect when we are healthy. Now, what is important is, if you are into one phase of the virus, you have been infected, and you are in the first stage or second stage or the third stage of virus, you see, if you look at the Lancet, what happened was, we have been listening that a lot of people who have got this virus, primarily, they come with a particular symptom of fever. Almost 98% of people in this gets fever. But there are associated symptoms where dry cough is highly said, like, you know, it's associated symptom, which is a kapha jwara symptom. But there are also symptoms where you have a kapha Kapha and Vata Pradhana symptom like sputum production with the cough, headache, which is Vata Pradhana, hepatitis, where it is Vata Pitta Pradhana, diarrhea, which shows about involvement of Agni, and dyspnea, Swasa Kasa, which is again Vata Kapha Pradhana Jwara. Now, when we are talking about the first stage of this fever, you have to manage in two phases. The first phase, as we have talked, is in the Jwara Dhikara is Ama phase. So when you have an Ama Jwara, you have to follow the Ama Jwara Pratishedha. And here, that is where we have talked, or Navajwara Pratishedha, where we have to take a Yavagu, then Shadangapaniyam, Tiktarasaha Dravyas. And you will be surprised that even in the Vasanta Ritu Charya, where this disease is peaking or going into Ritu Sandhi with Vasanta and Grishma Ritu, Tiktarasa plays a very important role in the Pathya. Now, this article I want to just show you all because it was published in Nature. Why is important, as my colleagues was talking about Nasya, Gandusha. See, this research shows that the pharyngeal virus shedding in the first 4 days, so when you got infected and the first 4 days, the pharyngeal shedding, that means the virus which is coming out in form of your aerosol after sneezing, after coughing, or airborne transmission is very high. And in such case, we have to be very careful that we take all these measures like gargling with medicated herbal juice or medicated herbal oils, and installing medicated herbal juice, powder, or oils into the nose, so that the virus shedding, which is happening through the pharynx, and the virus is replicating locally into the nasopharyngeal cavity, should reduce. So after this first phase, only then the virus goes into the alveoli or the lungs, and that is where the shofar happens. So from our perspective, when you get in the moderate case, when there is a pneumonia induced by the viral attack, we are all talking about the response of macrophages and a lot of interleukins, like inflammatory response mediated by cytokines, and lot of, if you see, a lot of protein-rich fluid and edema gets accumulated into the lungs, and which we call as shotha in Ayurveda. You need to be very careful in what kind of food you have to take. So in the initial stage, when there is no shotha, you have to take yavagu, you have to take tiktarasaha pradhana dravyas. But moment shotha happens, then you need to go to some less fluid rich food, which will prevent this shotha. And because if you don't prevent this shotha, ultimately the sepsis happens and multi-organ failure happens. So if you look at the whole ontology, that the first 7 days, people generally are convalescent, and only on 7th day, they get admitted to the hospital. And if you look at, this is very clear that in the Taruna Jwara, the first 7 days, Taruna Jwara or Nava Jwara is said also in our classical literature. So we need to handle the first 7 days when we are symptomatic, but yet not hospitalized. This is the place where you have to follow all the charyas in terms of pathya, in terms of a diet. And next 7 days, which is the Pachamanavastha, you have to change the diet into Odana and Yusha, which has been told by our text. So here you see Sleshma condition. When there is a Sleshma, when there is a Shodha, where there is a accumulation of fluid in the second stage of this acute respiratory kind of viral distress, and there is a pneumonia, you need to not take a lot of Yavagu, because it is already told Nishedha. So in such condition, you should avoid too much of Yavagu Kalpana. So what you need to take is you need to take Odana and Yusha as such. So that's very well. And then what kind of Yusha you have to take? So basically Vatajanya, Mamsa Rasa with Odana, that means rice with properly cooked Mam Rasa. Then Kafajanya, Mudga, moong dal or lentil, moong beans with Odana. And then in Pitta, it is again moong or moong dal Yushaha or soup with again something added with shakara or something which is easy to digest. So if you look at the whole Ayurvedic reference of the food strategy also, it has to change from Navajwara to Pachamana Jala. And then the issue in this disease is that in due course of time, after 7 days or in the intermediate phase, it gets a Sannipatika nature. So when there is a Sannipatika nature, the main Chikitsa Sutram has been told is Sannipata Jware Purvam Kuryat Kafapaham. The kapha has to be the first dosha which has to be taken. Whatever the Sannipata is there, you have to take care of kapha. Once the kapha becomes kshina, then only you have to attain pitta and vata. So you have to be very careful in giving diet and lifestyle which should not aggravate kapha. And why I'm trying to again emphasize this, because this is a Ritu Sandhi between Vasanta and Grishma Ritu in South India and still Vasanta in North India. Nature also has a naturally kapha predominant activity. So you have to be very careful with the diet and lifestyle.
Yeah, so thank you so much. That was really informative.